Hello everyone. Today in this video we are going to talk about who should you pull in the phase 2 version of Wuthering Waves. So in the phase 2 version of Wuthering Waves anniversary banner, we are going to get 5 characters, 5 resonators. Number 1 we have Genshin. Number 2 is Changli. Number 3 is Carlato. Number 4 is Rosia. Number 5 is Brant. So we're gonna talk about who should you pull who should you go for and who is the right character for your account. So if you are new to the channel and you just found me on YouTube, feel free to like, subscribe. Let's dive in. The number 1 character, the first character that we're going to talk about is Genshin. So we're going to talk about Genshin. All right, let's talk about Genshin. So the first character, so Genshin is a playable 5-star Spectro broad blade character in Wuthering Waves. Let's talk about Genshin's strength. Genshin deals a lot of damage using her resonance skill. Given that you can use all of its variation during Genshin's rotation. Number 2, the last variation of Genshin resonance skill provides Unison, a mechanic that replaces concerto energy when the bar is full. With Genshin in the team, you can do swap playstyle and deal a lot of burst damage using Genshin and the sub DPS intro skill. Let's talk about the weaknesses for Genshin. In order for your Genshin to perform very well in the field and do a lot of damage, you need her signature weapon. Without her signature weapon, she is very lackluster. So you gotta keep that in mind. You need her signature weapon if you want to further buff her resonance skill damage. There are currently no broad blade weapon that buffs her resonator resonance skill. So keep that in mind. Number 2 is that without Genshin sequence 2, which is her S2, he heavily relies on character with coordinated attacks like Gigi. In order to generate incandescence stacks efficiently. All right, so let's say you have Gigi and you're wondering whether you should go for Phoebe or Genshin. You can pick any one of them because they are incredible Spectro DPS character. You can't go wrong either of these two. So if you have Genshin, if you have Gigi, and if you are planning on going for Genshin, now do keep that in mind. We're also going to get another Spectro character, DPS character, which is Zani. So it really comes down to whether you like Genshin as a character, whether you like her lore, her story. That really comes down to that, because we have 3 DPS as characters that you can choose from. You can either choose Phoebe, you can either choose Genshin, and now we are going to get Zani. I think Zani is going to be the most powerful Spectro DPS character, so you should really wait for that. So should you pull for Genshin? Now it really comes down to whether you like this character or not, because if you don't have Gigi, there's no reason for you to go for on Genshin. Now if you are a new player and you need a Spectro DPS character, the first priority for you is that you're going for the most free-to-play characters are going to go for the most new player is going to start playing Wuthering Waves. They're going to go for they're going to go for Zani. They're not going to go for either Phoebe or Genshin. All right, let's keep it real. It really comes down to the preference, because if you pick either Genshin, Zani, or Phoebe, either of these 3 characters, you can't really go wrong with any one of them as long as you have Gigi. So keep that in mind. You need, and also if you are like a new player and you're going for Genshin, you have to keep that in mind. She needs a signature weapon. She needs Gigi. You can still make a Genshin work without Gigi, but you need her signature weapon. So keep that in mind. So should you go for Genshin? As a new player, I would say no. Go for Zani instead. So yeah, don't go for Genshin. I would not recommend for new players. For players who already have Genshin and don't have her signature weapon, this is the best time to get her signature weapon. Go for it. Go for it without even having second thoughts in mind. Just go for her signature weapon. All right. Now we're going to talk about Changli. All right. Let's talk about Changli. Okay. So Changli is a 5-star fusion sword character in Wuthering Waves. He's a very free-to-play friendly character. Now let's talk about one of the few strengths of Changli. Number 1, she's very flexible in team comms and can take the role of main DPS or a sub DPS. Number 2, she can deal a great amount of damage at her maximum 4-day stacks. Number 3 is that her combo-oriented gameplay provides a lot of attack options. But let's talk about a few of the weaknesses of Changli. Extremely fragile, so you really have to try and evade all incoming attacks. So keep that in mind. Number 2 is that a good amount of energy regen is there to make her rotation. So you need a little bit of decent amount of energy regen to make her rotation work properly. Changli relies on making sure her combos are hitting to stack her forte. Changli is a sub DPS and a main DPS hybrid unit that can deal a great amount of damage as long as you can stack her forte gauge properly. Her outro skill can buff the next character taking the fills, so that's very good. She can also definitely take on the role of a sub DPS. So as an on-field character, make sure Changli is evading all attacks as her survivability is not that high. Okay, so you gotta keep that in mind. You gotta make sure you maximize her forte gauge and her stacks. Now, through her outro skill, the character that she buffs, only a fusion character can take advantage. So if you have Brant, I have Changli and Brant, and with Changli and my Brant deals a lot of amount of huge damage through his forte. Through his forte and his resonance skill, he does so much damage because Changli outro skill buff. The moment I switch to Brant, he does so much damage. So thanks to her Changli's outro skill. She synergizes really well with Brant. He's insane. So the only reason for you to go for Changli, if you have Brant. So if you recently pulled for Brant, sorry if I pronounce his name wrong, my apologies. So if you have Brant, go for Changli. That's the only reason for you to pull Changli. If you have Brant, if you recently pulled Brant, this is the best time for you to go for Changli, because the amount of advantage you can take out of Changli's outro skill buff is insane. Even though she is a main DPS and sub DPS, you can get a lot of amount of you can take a lot of amount of advantage from using Changli, and they synergize really well with each other. So if you recently pulled for Brant, this is the best time for Changli. Now, if you don't have Changli or either for Brant, for a new player, should you go for Changli? I would not suggest you to go for Changli. If you want a fusion DPS character, instead, I would suggest you to rather not get Changli at the moment right now. But yeah, as a fusion DPS character, you gotta keep that in mind. She's very free-to-play friendly, we know that. But in order for you to Changli make her work, you need Brant. So if you can afford to get both these two characters as a new player, then only you go for Changli. But for example, you are a new player, you really like her, you want to pull for her, I would suggest you to go for instant Brant first, then try your luck on Changli. Alright, okay. Now let's talk about Carlato. Okay? Alright. So, Carlato is a 5-star Glacio pistol character in Wuthering Waves that we recently got a few months ago in Renacita. Okay? So, let's talk about few strengths of Carlato. Carlato boosts she's a great DPS potential. She's currently one of the best DPS right now in the game. She has a dedicated 5-star support, which is Gigi, the Glacio character, which can further increase her damage to the next level. Number 3, new Frosty Resolve Sonata effect fits her like a glove. She fits like a glove, making her a well-rounded character at the start of version 2.0. So, and beyond. So, let's talk about the weakness. She has a plenty lengthy resonance skill cooldown, so you'll have to be extremely particular with her rotation. Number 2, Carlato's attacks are mostly single target, so she may have trouble dispatching hordes of enemies, so you do have to keep that in mind. Carlato, like I said, she's a great Glacio DPS character for Wuthering Waves. She has access to a Sonata effect and Echo that fits her kit like a glove, and has a dedicated sub DPS character like Gigi. Alright? And she's one of the most complete character in Wuthering Waves, So, should you go for Carlato? It really comes down to whether you have Gigi. If you have Gigi and if you don't have Carlato, then you're simply going to go for Carlato and skip the, in this banner, in this anniversary banner. So instead, if you have Gigi and you're lacking on a Glacio DPS character, then go for Carlato. That would be wise choice for your account. All right. Now, if you don't have Gigi, if you don't have Carlato, should you go for Carlato? I would not recommend you to go for Carlato because you need Gigi. You can still make Carlato work, but she won't be as significant as you expect her to be. So, yeah, you definitely need Gigi. I would definitely suggest you to go for that character. Carlato, go for Carlato if you have Gigi. If you don't have Gigi or Carlato, then definitely you can skip Carlato, but you can still pull for her, but she won't be good for your account. So, and still make her work with somehow. You can still make her work with somehow and Mortofeed, but she won't be as significant because lacking on a sub DPS character, which is Gigi. So keep that in mind that you do need Gigi in order for Carlato to make her work. She's very free-to-play friendly as well. You can use the standard 5-star weapon on her, very free-to-play friendly. Also, if you already have Carlato, should you go for Carlato? get her signature weapon. If you don't have a signature weapon, go for her signature weapon. I have her and her signature weapon. I don't have GG. I'm definitely gonna go for GG, so I can make my Calato, so I can make my Calato damage to the next level. I can take my Calato damage to the next level. So yeah. So for new players, should you go for this character in the first phase? I already made a video on it, the GG. So if you are planning to go for, if you like have a plan in your mind that I want to go for Calato, try to get GG, and then try your luck on Calato in the second phase. All right. Now we're gonna talk about Rosia. Okay, let's talk about Rosia. All right. Okay. So Rosia is a 5-star Havoc Gauntlet character in Wuthering Waves. Now let's talk about the strengths of Rosia. Rosia is a premium Havoc sub DPS character that elevates the best Havoc team right now, which is Camellia, to new heights. Okay. Number 2, she deals a good chunk of damage thanks to the Midnight Vial Sonata effect set. Number 3, the damage she deals is not negligible, generally improving the team's DPS as a whole. Number 4, she can group multiple enemies with her outro skill, making it easier for the main DPS to take on hordes of enemies. Let's talk about few weaknesses of Rosia. Number 1 is that she can maximize her supporting capabilities on Havoc teams only. So you cannot use Rosia outside Havoc team. Keep that in mind. Okay. It's very specific and only works perfectly with Camellia. Number 2, her rotation can be slower than somehow in general, so it takes some time before the main DPS can come in. The additional Havoc damage bonus makes up for the time, but it may result in sub-optimally timed rotation. So you need your rotations to be perfectly when you're playing with Rosia. It will take you some time, but you will get used to it. The last one is she needs her S1 for a faster rotation. So if you already have Rosia, it's time for you to get her S1 so you can make her rotation more faster to keep up with Sunhow's fast rotation. So we all know that Sunhow has a very fast rotation, the 4-star character Sunhow, which is the best 4-star character in Wuthering Waves. You need, in order for you to keep up with the Sunhow, the way how fast he is, because the S0 Rosia is not, her rotation is not that fast. She needs her S1. So if you already have Rosia, it's best time to get her S1. Don't go for her weapon. I don't think her weapon is worth pulling for. Instead, try to get her S1 for better rotation. So let's say if you already have Camellia, should you go for Rosia? Now you gotta understand that, like I said it earlier, Rosia is really good in Havoc team. So if you have Camellia, who recently got her rerun, if you have Camellia in the first phase, she recently got rerun in the first phase. So if you have Camellia, it's best time to get Rosia, because Rosia is gonna take your Camellia to the next level. Okay, I'm gonna keep it real. It's gonna take your Camellia to the new heights. Okay, so if you have Camellia, you don't have Rosia, it's the best time to get Rosia. Okay, now let's talk about all right, so if you already have Rosia and Camellia, try to get Rosia S1 for faster rotation. So yeah, but it's not a must pull, only if you want to. If you want faster rotation, if you want to clear out more faster, so you can definitely try her S. Don't go for her weapon, I would not recommend it. Okay, now let's talk about Brant. Okay, last but not the least, let's talk about Brant. So Brant is a playable 5-star fusion sword character in Wuthering Waves. Let's talk about the strengths of Brant. Okay, number 1, he's a very versatile fusion DPS, can be played as a main DPS or a sub DPS, just like Changli. He can provide heals and shields to the team with his Forte circuit and his resonance liberation. So not only you can play him as a sub DPS or a main DPS, as a main DPS or a sub DPS, he can also heal your entire party and can provide shield to his resonance liberation. Number 3, he has unique skill of attack scaling with energy regen. Number 4, he has a great utility with outro skill that provides fusion damage and resonance skill amplification. Okay, let's talk about few weaknesses. Harder to build due to his high stat requirement. Limited weapon options available, so you do need his signature weapon, because signature weapon is gonna be really good for Brant. Number 3 is that prone to interruption. He relies on his mid-air combos for damage. Number 4 has a hard time dealing with mobile bosses. Grappling. Number 5, grappling onto flying bosses is possible but difficult. Number 6 is his versatility can be limiting to his team's potential. Brant is a unique fusion unit that can be played as a sub, main DPS or sub DPS with his healing and shielding capabilities. Alright, so as a DPS, you do also need around 250 energy regen on Brant in order for you to for him to get the most out of it. If you want to get the most out of it, you also need 250 energy regen on him. So do keep that in mind. Yeah. So Brant is really good with Changli. Like I said it earlier, Changli. So let's say if you have Changli, if you don't have Brant, then definitely go for Brant. You're not going to regret it. He's such a great utility character that can heal and provide shield to the entire team. He can him as a main DPS, as a sub DPS. He can also give outro skill fusion damage to Changli through his outro skill, and Changli can do that as well. So yeah, definitely a great character, support character who's a DPS or sub DPS for Changli. So he synergizes really well with Changli. Great utility character. I highly recommend going for Brant because he's my recent 5-star resonator in Wuthering Waves, and I do not regret pulling for him. I was not going for Brant, but I went for him, and I made the best decision in Wuthering Waves, and my account has been so good so far. So definitely I highly recommend going for Brant if you have Changli. If you don't have Changli or Brant, go for Brant and try your luck on Changli. Try to get both of these characters if you can. If you just started playing Wuthering Waves or you're going to start playing Wuthering Waves, this is the best time to get both of these characters because they're so good with each other. Keep that in mind. If you only have one of these two characters, then yeah, you're gonna lag a bit. But you also have to keep that in mind that you need these two characters. If you're a new player, try to get these two characters because they're really good for your account. So Brant, I highly recommend if you have Changli. If you don't have Brant, go for Brant. If you have Brant, then and if you don't have Changli, go for Changli. All right, let's come down to the conclusion of this video. Should you go for Jinshi? If you already have, for the people who already have Jinshi, go for her and don't have her signature weapon, get her signature weapon. If you already have Genshin signature weapon, then you can. If you don't have GG, go for GG. And if you already have everything, just chill and just have some fun. Number 2, Changli. Should you pull for Changli only if you have Brant? Otherwise, I don't see the point of pulling Changli because you can make her work with Encore, but it's not gonna be as significant because the amount of advantage you can take from Brant is gonna be to the next level. Like the amount of damage you can get, they synergize really well with each other and they take advantage from both of their kits. So there's no reason for you to get only Changli and not pull for Brant. So if you already have Brant, then go for Changli. If you don't have, then try to get both of these characters. If you can try to get both of these characters, if you think, then there's always option for swipe, or if you are a new player and free to play, then just rely on your luck. That's all I can say. Number 3 is that Carlotta. If you have GG, go for Carlotta. If you don't have GG, go for Carlotta after you get GG on the first phase of the anniversary patch. All right. Rosia. Let's talk about Rosia. Rosia, only get Rosia if you have Camellia, because you can't use Rosia outside of the Havoc team. So yeah, and you can, and also she will not work with Cantarella. Keep that in mind. All right. Yes, I mean Cantarella, you can make her work, Rosia, but you have to keep Cantarella as a main DPS. But yeah, but like I said, Rosia can work with Cantarella, or she can work with Cantarella as well. So, but she synergizes really well with Camellia, very well with Camellia. So yeah, and also Cantarella, she works with Cantarella. So if you have those two characters and if you're lacking, if you don't have Rosia, go for Rosia. If you already have Rosia, if you don't have Camellia, don't go for Rosia. I would not recommend you to go for Rosia. All right, simple as that. If you already have Rosia, if you already have Camellia, if you want to improve your Rosia, don't get her signature weapon, get her S1. For Brant, go for Brant if you already have Changli. If you don't have Changli, if you don't have Brant, try to get these two characters. If you go for Brant and then go for Changli, and if you can get these two characters, just swipe. There's always option for swiping. Also, keep that in mind. This is a 50-50 balance. So 50-50 is gonna be there. This is not like a guaranteed 5-star. So that's kind of like a scammy thing. But hey, it is what it is. There's nothing to do about it. But yeah, like I said, there's also 50-50 in the anniversary patch. So keep that in mind. So you're most likely gonna have to rely on your luck. So Brant, only pull Brant if you have Changli. If you don't have Changli, I don't see the reason for pulling Brant. If you think your luck is shitty, and you can only get one character, just skip. Just skip. Try not to get Brant, because I don't see them rerunning Changli anytime soon. So yeah, you have to get at least two characters. So if you just started out playing Wuthering Waves, you have to get, you can't just go for simply one character. You have to go for their character that Brant synergizes really well, which is Changli. So yeah, go for if you're going for Brant, simply don't have Changli, don't just skip. Don't go for it. If you think you can go for both of them and can use, swipe, go for it. And if you think you are very confident in your luck, go for both of them. You can. All right. So yeah, that will be for the video. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out, everyone. Bye. Take care.